19 people. Yeah. I left my sunglasses in that place too. Pissed. I don't know what happened to them. But, oh, gone now. Okay. First off, I guess I just want to see if anybody has any questions, regarding the event or anything like that. Anybody that missed out or wasn't able to make it. If you have any questions about Balage's mastermind I just came back from, feel free to ask them. And yeah, we can get into it for sure. There's one thing I'm not sure if you guys noticed, but Julian uploaded a spreadsheet into the file section on the Global Affiliates homepage. It's basically about entering your numbers, and if you keep a strict ads budget, you can enter your numbers in there, and basically based on what your cost per acquisition is, which just means how much it costs you to get a $99 buyer, you can calculate that out, right, for how much you spent on advertising and how many $99 buyers you've had in the back office. You can see that, right? Then you can see, you divide how much you spent by your $99 buyers. You can see how much it costs you per $99 buyer, or your cost per acquisition. Once you have that number and you have your ad budget, you can type it in, plug it into the spreadsheet that Julian has from Cameron George. Cameron George gave that to Julian back in the day. You can plug your numbers in there. You can see mathematically that you might lose out, you might not be in the green for the first couple months when you're spending whatever an X amount of dollars on your advertisement budget. But if you set aside in your ad budget, you should have your maximum ad budget should mean you can spend that much money every single month for 3 months, no matter what. So I'm not talking about, if you make a certain amount of cash or you make a sale, then you can add that to your ads budget, and then you can increase your ad budget. I'm talking about every single month. Let's say your ad budget is $1,000 a month. You need to be able to spend that $1,000 a month for 3 months straight, no matter what, regardless of what happens in your personal life. And that should be the ad budget you're working with on the spreadsheet. I know it can be more if you're making sales, but for your first, just to start out with the spreadsheet, set it at that. And then so then that way, when you make any profit, you can just add that, compound that back into your ads budget. And then now you're starting with a bigger ads budget. You can do that for 3 months, no matter what, regardless of making any sales or any profit. And then you'll see it compound, and then it'll start to compound. And if you do that for, 90 days or more, if you do that for a year straight, you'll see how insane the numbers get. It's mind blowing. So that's definitely something that I haven't had a chance. Like I said, we just got back. I'm going to shoot some ad content and start busting out that spreadsheet so I can really, get to know my numbers well and utilize that spreadsheet so I know what's going on, and I can basically engineer whatever I want as far as how much profit I make in a year, just based on what I'm dumping in for an ads budget. The numbers aren't, exact. Obviously, they're just based on previous data, but they're pretty damn close. That's literally what Cameron used. That's what Julian uses still. So it's good. It's a good little tool for sure. So check that out. If you have any questions, then we can go over the questions as well. Because there's also a section in there for how much time you think you invest, or how much time it takes you to actually acquire a customer. If you're just investing time more so than money, which most of you probably should be doing when you're starting out. If you don't have that ads budget, you should be investing more time into acquiring leads, into acquiring sales. So I talked to a hell of a lot of people through an ad I'm running, targeting mainly tradespeople. I've had over 500 leads and not one sign up. Most people, after I talk to them on the phone, mostly say they're really interested but never end up signing up. What do I do, and what am I doing wrong? What should I be doing? Thanks. You have 500 leads, so you're running a conversion ad. Add-on leads. So that's if you get 500 actual leads that have opted into the webinar, and you're having nobody pay the $99, what landing page are you using? Are you running them to the Team Phoenix webinar or the GAZ webinar? You know, because I think personally, and it's been proven that the Team Phoenix webinar converts higher than the Global Affiliate Zone webinar. 70 conversions, 500 comments. Okay, that's a bit of a different story then. So then, you know, it definitely is going to come down to what you're saying when you're talking to these people. They say it can take up to 100 conversions on average before you get a sale. So the 500 comments part is obviously where we need to focus. Okay. Yeah. So I don't know. Tell me what you're saying. Like, basically, once you start talking, are you jumping on the phone with them? Okay. You talked on the phone mostly. Kai was in here. He had a message that he was getting a lot of response with. I don't think he's in here. So I'm not sure how you're starting off the conversation, but like I said, I usually just say, hey, so-and-so, how's it going today? Something very simple. I'll talk to Kai. He was showing me a message that he sends to people. He's been testing it out, and he's been getting, instead of like half the people replying to him, he's getting like 80% to 90% of people that respond. So I'll talk to Kai, and hopefully he can send me that message, and I can just, or get him to just, oh, that's it. So that's, if you guys look in the comments, Chad and Caleb got it off of Kai, I guess. That's what Kai, if you just look in the chat, sorry, that's what Kai runs usually. Can everybody see the chat? I'm not sure if everybody sees that, or if it's just me that can see the chat. Okay, gotcha. I think when you guys are typing in the chat, you can click to all panelists or to all viewers or something. But I don't think Kai's in here, babe. Yeah, Caleb, can you just put that in the Limitless chat? We got it. Caleb's just going to put that in the Limitless chat for us. So yeah, Adam Lee, this is what Kai was using. He was getting a lot of interaction, as opposed to just saying, hey, how's it going? I don't know why. Depending on the person, sometimes it works. Like, and I don't mean the person you're typing it to. I mean the person saying it. Like for me, people, they reply all the time, almost every single time when I say, hey, how's it going? Hey, man, or hey, John, how's it going, man? But I even play around with some minor details like, hey, John, comment, how's it going, man? Exclamation mark, question mark. And I swear to God, it works better. It shows a little enthusiasm. But Kai was saying that what Caleb's going to throw in the Limitless chat, or he already did. Kai's been getting it. I don't know. Have you been testing that out, Caleb, at all? Or Chad? And it could be who you're targeting, but with that many comments, you should be able, especially if they're tradespeople, man. You should have. But I mean, that being said, dude, like when you're in the learning stages, I had like 700 comments or something on my first ad, and I closed like one $99 buyer, I think, or two maybe at the most. So obviously, it's kind of something you acquire over time. I didn't get decent at talking to people until I was doing this for like months and months. So. But yeah, it was more so just it was more so a confidence thing. I think really it was just, I really set the intention that everybody was interested and they were, they wanted to buy, and it was, it was just, what was I saying? Trying to read at the same time. But yeah, and, I just was like, this is, I just really had myself, I really, told myself and made myself 100% sure and realized that this was an opportunity for them and not for myself. And, when you come from that position, it doesn't seem so salesy. It doesn't seem spammy. It's just, it seems a lot more organic. So that's like, I think, honestly, that was just came down to the whole mindset shift. And, it was, that's another big thing about watching the webinars like on Tuesday and Wednesday and stuff, is they drill that shit into your head all the time. So I was like, someone tells it to you enough times, you're like, okay, fuck yeah, now I'm starting to finally make that mindset shift. And then it was a hell of a lot easier. It was a hell of a lot easier for me to actually convey that that's how I actually felt, as opposed to just saying it, right? People can sense that. And so that's kind of where where kind of things changed for me personally, was when I was coming from, a place of helping others and giving value, as opposed to like just wanting to make a sale. And unfortunately, a lot of that comes with making sales, because as you start making sales, and you're less desperate to make a sale, so it just becomes smoother and smoother. It's just that transition, that starting period, that is the hardest for everybody to get through. But just keep practicing, man. Like, if you watch the webinars and all that stuff, see where the fuck I'm at. Yeah, that sucks when there's no way around that, man. That's another good thing. Like, I've been trying to a lot recently, is just adding those people on your personal Facebook, sending them a friend request like right away. Fuck it. I used to only add people that were $99 buyers, but now I've been starting to, if someone seems promising, I'll send them a friend request right away. And I find that gets them to actually respond a little more often and frequently. And then, it builds a little bit more trust. They can creep your personal Facebook and see like, fuck, you're just a regular dude, right? So that also helps. But yeah, there's no way around sending messages from your business page without it showing that fucking clip of your ad. Which I've asked about this lots, because I feel the same way. I find that's why I usually, sometimes as well, I would say one word, or I would just say, let's say I would say, hey John, how's it going today? Enter. Then it sends the little clip of your advertisement, and then I would send the message below that. So it doesn't look like it's another link, or it's spammy, or it's automated. So that's another thing you can try. Actually send a message once a week to everyone that didn't respond, and at least 6 get about 50% of the people that didn't respond. I think sometimes, like Adam says, they don't even see the message. Just yeah, totally, definitely, Shauna. I've had a few get mad at me because that clip is on there. Yeah, and Amy, just be honest with it. They understand it. Be like, yeah, I know I hate that. There's no way around it. Honestly, it's just, it's part of Facebook. When you're running through a fan or a business page, when you reply to comments on an ad or a post, it will always send that ad clip, and there's just no way around it. So I apologize. They're usually pretty understanding. I mean, there's nothing you can do about it. Then they're like, okay, fuck, it's not a scam. Like, it's just how it is. You just can't get around it. That's what I started to do the same, sending them friend requests. I'll see how it goes. Yeah, it's a good thing, because myself personally, when I started, Brian added me on Facebook right away. And when I was like back and forth about whether I should actually get involved, I remember saying to Alicia, I was like, well, he added me on his personal Facebook, and like, he's there with his family and shit. Like, why would he add me on his personal Facebook? Like, it's obviously his personal Facebook. It goes back for years. If he was gonna fuck me around, then I have his personal Facebook. I can like fucking harass him all the time or do whatever. I know where he lives, for Christ's sake. So I think that's beneficial. When you close people in 99, is it usually over the phone while you're talking to them, or after? It's on the phone. If I'm getting on the phone with them, usually close them most of the time, almost every time if I get on the phone with them. And this is something that I learned at Bellage. Yeah, man, all you got to do is like, when you're on the phone with people, you just kind of, and also we're working on some training right now in the back office to basically qualify people to do coaching calls. So there's going to be training to go through, which asks, we're going to, I think, going to head over to Jenks tomorrow, and we're going to kind of go over what some of the main questions are that people have on the calls, what the best answers are to those questions, and how to transition that call from, more of an explanation to closing. And that's going to all be in the back office. Hopefully it's going to get done. There's going to be modules to go through. And when people, I'm assuming I'm going to talk to Jang, and I'll just be like, hey dude, is this training available for everybody? Cause I think it's really beneficial. But then in order to actually, I'm not sure exactly how it's going to go to prove that you're competent to do a call, so you can actually be put in like a coaching call rotation if that's what you want to do. But I still think that everybody, regardless of if you're doing, if you intend on doing coaching calls or being in the coaching call rotation, I still think everybody should have access to it so they can see exactly kind of how the coaching calls are done, and it'll help you guys huge when you talk to somebody. But keep in mind, this is going to be set up for people to start doing coaching calls, which the coaching call is going to land after the initial training, after people pay the $99. So they're going to be already aware of the products. So obviously you're going to have to tweak it a little bit and gear it towards the $99 sale, because they're going to know fuck all. It's going to be more so of like a warm market instead of kind of a hot market. Because when we do the coaching calls, and when I used to, or when I still do once in a while, the people have already seen the videos, they've seen the comp plan, they've seen visual representations of the product and the products. So it's not that hard. If you're coming in cold or warm and these people don't know anything about the products or the $99 at that stage, right? It's going to be a different story, but I still think it's going to be, it's still going to really help people out. So that should roll out within the next, Jang said within the next week. So let's just say 2 weeks to be safe. So then if people are actually interested in doing calls as well, then you guys can possibly get into the rotation. But I think you'll have to get through the modules. And then I'm not sure if you're going to have to jump on a call with somebody, or if someone's going to have to sit on a 3-way call with you, to actually sign you off and say, yeah, this person, they can do the calls. They know what they're talking about, kind of thing. But yeah, like if I get on the call, I literally just talk a bit about, I say like, look, I guess first of all, I just want to know kind of what made you, what got you interested in this business? What caught your eye? Is there anything specifically you were looking to get out of this? I'll kind of talk about something. I'll relate to it with working in the oil field, or not being able to see my girlfriend, or whatever your why is, right? The reason that you got started in this in the first place. Try and tie that in somehow. Usually you can relate to someone's career pretty easily with your career, or, if you have family, then, that's a big one as well. And then, once it gets started, then be like, yeah, I mean, this is where, there's a lot of people in the community that, we're in the same boat, and it's just incredible the kind of results that people have been getting. And we just had an event, and there was like 30 plus people that had made over 100K in their first year. And you don't even have to get into it that far, but at some point in time, you can say like, what really has you wanting to start an online business? And once they say something, be like, okay, great. When would you like to get started? And if they're like, right now, and this is like straight from Cameron George, who says, yeah, when would you like to get started? That's how he taught Julian. And if they say, yeah, let's do it right now. And then you're like, okay, great. I can send you over the link. Look, it's $99 per month to, get all the training and to utilize the system that I use, the system that everybody in this community uses. And then, I've been saying this recently and it's been working well. They're like, okay, yeah, that's no worries. I'll send it over. And then, I mean, if you have to, you can mention, look, it's even 14 days. There's a 14-day refund policy. So if you get in and, you kind of see what the back office and the training's like, and you jump on your coaching call and you decide it's not for you, then, we're confident enough that we'll give you your money back in full. Yeah, Brian's video in the back office is awesome. It's like 3 hours long, but I still highly recommend watching it for anybody that hasn't watched it. You guys doing a Tech Tuesday of this? That would be sick. A Tech Tuesday of what? Of what to say on calls? Um, do you mean like what they're gonna what kind of questions are gonna be in this these modules for doing your own coaching calls? Is that what you mean, or do you mean just like generally what to say on calls? Because I think, I mean, you can ask yourself as well, but um, I think it's been gone over a lot, several times. Um, like I said, watch that if you haven't watched that training in the back office, the fast track to $500,000 or whatever with Brian Hodgson and those guys. I recommend watching that. And I'm not sure if it's in the Team Phoenix section. I think it's in the Global Affiliate Zone section, like last module of the back office. It's really good, man. You don't have to watch the whole thing. You can skip to like Brian and Julian when they role play together. It's fucking gold. Basically, that whole webinar was on doing coaching calls and what to say. And fuck, I had some notes. Okay, well, I was just at Balage's place, or Balage's mastermind there, and we were this guy, Mark. I can't remember his last name right now. He's the guy who did Balage's interview, that Business Rockstars interview. He interviewed, like, if you look on his page or go on YouTube, he's got interviews with like Grant Cardone and he has like Gary Vee's number in his phone and fucking he's like friends with Richard Branson and stuff. So he's legit. But he came in and he kind of discussed a couple strategies, you know, for myself, and this might be ahead of where some people are in here right now, but it's definitely something to consider for the future. Some people are there right now. They can start implementing this. I know I'm going to. He said, you know, what you got to do is you got to actually portray that authority figure. You can't be so readily available. And all these people are asking for more info and shit like that on your ads. You can't just be hitting them up right away and being like, yeah, let's jump on a phone call. I'm good whenever. Just, you know, it's up to you. Let me know and I'll work around your schedule. He's like, you can't be doing that. You don't sound professional. You sound like an amateur. And one thing he said that really works well is you get an assistant or your girlfriend or you know, anybody, your buddy. You guys can do it for each other, someone else in the community or whatever the case may be. You reach out to them, and when they ask for more info, let's say on your ad, and you say, you message them privately and say, hey, John, how's it going? I was just hoping you could send me your best email and I'll get my assistant to reach out with you quick and see when the best time she can set up for us to jump on a phone call. And then he's like, okay, yeah, for sure. Here's my email address. Then you get your assistant or your friend or whoever's going to play this part to email them. I'll be like, hey, John, I spoke to Garrett. He connected me with you. I understand you guys would like to jump on a phone call, or I understand you'd like to jump on a phone call and go over some things with Garrett. And then they're like, yeah. And then you'll just say like, okay, first, do you mind if I just send you this quick questionnaire? Or I ask you a few questions before, you know, we set something up so I can know that it's a good fit. It's going to be a good fit. And then there's questions like, for example, you can send these questions in a conversation. You can send them a survey, however you want to do it. And you can say like, hey, John, or no, you can be like, what? And this is a good way of, you know, figuring out how much people make in a year without actually asking them, because you sound like a dickhead sometimes if your first question, like, how much money do you make in a year? You can say, what's your goal income, or what's your annual income goal? And then next question, okay, great. And how far away from that goal are you currently? Boom, do the math. You know how much they're making in a year, right? So it gives you you can kind of screen these people before actually jumping on the phone with them. If you're like really busy and you have a ton of fucking people asking or want to jump on the phone, this is a really good way to do it. And so you're not wasting your time with tire kickers. And then next question be like, what do you think is holding you back from that income goal or your goals? And then the next question could be like, I wish I had my notes here. This is the gist of it. Next question be like, what are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? And then you can read over those questions yourself and be like, okay, yeah, this guy seems legit. He seems motivated. You know, he has a decent career. He has money. You know, reading his strengths and all that stuff, like he seems like this guy would be all right. And then you have your assistant contact him again if it sounds like a good fit, and be like, hey, so yeah, Garrett went over the questions. It looks like it's going to be a good fit. So he's excited to talk to you. We're going to set up a phone call. These are the dates and times that he has available. And it's building up at this point, right? Like this guy's getting stoked because he thinks you're a really big deal at that point. Like, so he's getting pumped up and he's like, yeah, sure. Tomorrow at 8 p.m. works for me. Okay, perfect. I'll let Garrett know and we'll put it in the schedule. He looks forward to hearing from you. Then the next day comes, 8 p.m. call. Your assistant gives him a shout again at 8 p.m. whatever time he scheduled the call for. He answers the phone, thinks it's going to be you, and it's the assistant again. He's like, oh, fuck. Hey, John. Yeah, it's you. Sorry, I just want to make sure. A lot of people or some people bail, so I just wanted to make sure that you were still available, or just make sure that you were actually going to reach the call or something. I have Garrett sitting right here. Are you ready? Are you ready to talk on the phone with Garrett? And then he's like, yeah, fuck, I'm ready. I'm definitely ready. Yeah, I'm fired up. She's like, okay, I'm going to put you on hold and I'll throw Garrett on. Good luck. And then so as soon as she like puts him on hold, obviously you're sitting right there the whole time. She's like, yeah, this dude's in. This dude's fucking ready to go. And then passes you the phone. Boom, takes off hold. Hey, John, it's Garrett here. How's it going? And then the guy's like, fuck yeah, I'm finally talking to Garrett. This is sick. It's just the guy from the ad. This is awesome. And then so, you know, it starts breaking down. It's like, hey, man, so I read over your questions and it says that you, this is your income goal and blah, blah, blah. And, you know, this is your strengths and weaknesses. This is what we're holding you back. And, you know, what do you think we can do for you here? Or what do you think you can do for me that's going to, you know, help you get and achieve your goals that you want to achieve? And then the guy's just like laying it on to you, right? He's like laying it on thick at that point in time. And you're just like, cool. Yeah. And then that's when you can be like, okay, well, it's $99. It's $99 a month. That's to utilize the system that I use. I'm going to give you the system and we're going to give you all the training. It just makes you sound a lot more professional. And this guy was like talking to Mark. He's like, dude, just try it out and you'll see how much higher of a conversion rate you'll go and how much more quality people you're actually going to spend your time with. So, I mean, it's obviously not something for people to do right out the gate, but when you get to a certain level, then it's definitely something I would recommend. Like, I'm going to definitely try it out here soon. And I'm pretty stoked because it sounds, I mean, just thinking about it personally, if I was going through the same process, yeah, it would definitely make me a lot more likely, and a lot more excited to actually get in and do something like that and sell, right? And purchase something. So, yeah. I ran an ad. It did amazing, but wasn't paying attention to my ad account and payment. It came out earlier than expected, and it wasn't in there. I was off for a few days and just turned it on, not doing anything. Any advice on turning an old ad on? I was getting 6 to 30 comps a day, exact same one, last 24 hours, one. Yeah, that's why they really recommend that you don't turn off an ad. Everybody tells me that turning off an ad, it'll never be the same when you turn it back on. So you can try starting from scratch, running that same ad again, just creating that same ad from scratch, use the same ad set and all that, and then, you know, see how that works. What else? Can I share that pic of you holding the big check? Yeah, totally. Anybody can share that stuff, but you have to put that disclaimer in there. You know, I had 3 pictures and one is the disclaimer. You must put that in there. If I see someone post a check without that disclaimer, I'll delete it. There's the post that I created, the post that I made had 3 pictures. There was a picture of me getting the check, there was a picture of me holding the check, and then there was a picture of a disclaimer. And it said, I'll tell you, it has to be on there for legal reasons. So I'll show you, I'll tell you what it says here quick. You need an income disclaimer. Okay, wait, shit.
Real people catch.
Fuck. Okay.
Real checks.
That's not the right one. Yeah, so I have a picture of an income disclaimer. I can't see fuck all, but it's right here. It says income disclaimer. Just because I'm making thousands per month here doesn't mean that you will. Some people make no money at all. Some people make good money, and some people make a lot of money. Your results are entirely up to you. Your mindset, your attitude, your commitment, your determination, your ability to be coachable and trainable. Blah, blah. That's basically it. So that's the same place where that picture of the check is. It'll be right there in that same post. So if you're going to post that check anywhere, the picture, you have to post the disclaimer with it. Understand? Yeah, you can write it in the text too. It doesn't have to be the picture. You can just write that income disclaimer in the text. It just has to be along with the picture somewhere. It has to be along with the picture of the check. If there's a picture of the income, the check in there, then yeah. But yeah, you can throw it in the text. I was going to do that. I was just lazy. What else? Some other things I learned from Balages and learned from Mark, actually, because his thing is personal branding. That's this whole thing. He explains how like Ryan Seacrest doesn't have a company per se. Like nobody knows what Ryan Seacrest's company is, right? It's just they know him because he's Ryan Seacrest. Donald Trump, like everybody knows Donald Trump based on Donald Trump's name. I mean, Trump Hotel, all that shit. But they said for the first time in history, he thinks a person was actually elected president of the United States based on their personal brand. Lots of people like that. But Russell Branson, people know him. They know that he has Virgin, but they know Russell Branson. So lots of people with these big companies, they have no idea who the people are who are behind that company. So people like him, people like this guy, like fuck, I didn't know what he did like at all. I knew his name from the because I'd seen it around, and that was about it. But and obviously he's not that huge right now. He's getting there. Like if he's interviewing people like Grant Cardone and stuff like that, then I mean he's pretty legit for sure. But it was all about personal branding. So it was about like building your guys's social media outlets. Caleb Maddox at the event as well. He really preached on building your social media. So I'm talking like your Instagram. He said basically become a master of one before you become a master of any other thing. So like pick one, pick Instagram or YouTube or, Snapchat, or build a following with one of them first. But he said it's super important to build that following with, like I said, Instagram or something. You should be posting like good content on there, good pictures daily, let's say. And he said, as far as your business page goes, now I don't know 100% about like from what I've been taught from day one about posting on your fan page like 3 times a day. I think that's really important at the start, but once you get it established a little bit, then it's more quality over quantity. Not like 3 times a day, just a fucking motivational quote 3 times a day. And I'm guilty of doing that too. But posting actual content, and he's talking about like posting content on your page, like a 60-second clip, 60-second video of just something valuable or something motivating. No pitch in there whatsoever, just content. And then you can boost post. Just boost the post for like $1 a day, and just boost that post. And then you start to get you start to have people engage with that post, and it looks good on your fan page. And then people start to be like, okay, well, this guy isn't just trying to sell me every single time I talk to him or every single post I see of his. So then you'll get more people coming to your fan page, which, means more people are going to come to your personal Facebook page. And that's when, after then you hit them with actually like an ad, or they see one of your ads after they've seen lots of your free content. And I'm just talking like 60-second clips, or it doesn't even have to necessarily be a video clip, but those get more engagement. But it can just be a post. Like you can just write something, motivating, or a personal experience of yours, or something, that someone somewhere might get some inspiration from. You can do something like that. But like, yeah, this guy is talking about, all he does is put these small clips of interviews and things like that, and people get amped up. Or he'll talk about like, a tip that he did, or like a short how-to video. But only content, no link in there, no promoting the webinar, no pitch for anything whatsoever, just content, and then boost it. It's going to get approved. It's not only is it going to get approved 90% of the time, if it's just content and you're not pitching anything or trying to sell anything, it's also going to build that rapport with Facebook as well. So then when you're actually running ads, you're more and more likely to get those ads approved as well. So that was a big tip that I got from him as well, was doing that and focusing more on a personal brand. I know lots of people are kind of moving into, their own brands, which are not personal brands, not yourself, but a company, which is fine as well. But I recommend doing both. If you're gonna have fan pages or something, have a fan page for your brand, and have a fan page for your personal brand. Like if you have a team and you have a page set up for your team, which I'm gonna do, by the way. I know we don't have like a team page like Global Affiliate Zone or anything like that, but I'm gonna create one within the next couple weeks. I don't want to just create one and have it just shit though. So that's why that's why I've been putting it off. I guess I want it to be decent. I'll get some Alicia to help me as well, so we can have some decent stuff in the file section and stuff like that. And yeah, then we can do that, and it'll be a better place for people to post and interact with each other in this Limitless crew. And I'm going to switch it up, the name. I think it's stuff I have. I'm just going to wait until I get a logo back and stuff, and we can go from there. It's not going to be like any crazy huge improvement. It's just going to be another page where you guys can have some good content, file section. Then I can post videos and stuff like that, like go lives and stuff I can do right on the page. I can post videos and put them in the file section, like share my screen and do things like that. If I'm getting a lot of questions about the same issue, then I can, do a video quickly and share my screen and be like, boom, boom, boom. This is what you guys need to do. Put it in the file section. And make everybody's life easier, right? So that's kind of what I'm going to look at doing, and should hopefully help some people out as well. What else was I going to talk about? I'm also going to get some. Basically, this Mark's whole slideshow that he did at Balage's place had a lot of good quality shit with it that came with it. So Balaj is going to send that to us, and I'm not sure how big it's going to be, and I'm not sure if he's going to tell us, hey, dude, you can't share this with anybody because it's Mark's slideshow and he charges for it. If he doesn't say anything, I'll just play dumb, and then I can post it in the file section or give it to you guys. It's really good stuff on personal branding. Some of it's kind of next level, I think, for some people in here, but still good stuff. And yeah, I can put it in there so everybody can have it if Balaj doesn't specifically tell me that I can't. If he just doesn't say anything at all, then I'll just pretend that I thought we could, and then deal with it after if he gives me shit. But yeah, so that was good too. I do have notes somewhere, but I think that's pretty much what I wanted to cover for the most part from Balaj's event. That's right. I'll see if Aaron's here actually. don't know if Aaron's here yet. Get all of Aaron in here to come give you his perspective on the event. I'm sure he has some stuff that stood out for him that didn't stand out for me. Oh, were you? You got in shit for that, Dallas? For flying the drone? Yeah, I wasn't sure. Here, just hang on one sec. There now? Okay. Do you have anything you want to say about the event? Anything that stood out to you? Oh, that's funny. I didn't even think about that airport there. Aaron's not here yet, so scratch that. I'll probably be here next Monday though too. So, let's see what we got here. I'll go over see if there's anything that stands out for me on here before we're done. Yeah, get someone to pre-screen your calls or pre-screen your people on Facebook. I think that's going to be huge. I did ask about the one, this Mark dude actually, what's his name? Mark Lack. He actually talked about the $1 ads, but from what I understood, man, he wasn't really even talking about advertising so much. He was talking about boosting posts, which are technically an ad, but he was just boosting content. He was boosting content for $1 a day. And that was it. And then he also said, if you have more than that, he's like, if you want to spend more than $1 a day, give her. And we spend all $5 a day minimum usually on ads. But if you're just boosting content, he was talking about $1 a day. I still wouldn't recommend running ads for $1 a day. That makes no sense to me still. So from what I gathered this weekend, from what Mark was saying, he said it's just $1, $1 per day was for boosting content when you're boosting a post on your page, and it's just strictly content. So like I just said, if you're going to put content up, even if you have a good post on your page and it's, it's a picture of you doing something and you think it's sweet, boost it for a bit, get some engagement on your page. It's not a bad thing. Even for $1 a day, like it's fuck all, right? Yeah, I do know Will Fife. What about him? Lots of this shit doesn't really apply to this. So this is kind of what he broke down for developing your personal brand. Just identify the industry. We're all in the same industry. Identify your niche, your niche. For me, it's oil field. right? So identify that, identify your target audience, identify a foundation of topics and what your values are. And you can outsource. There's a website called fancyhands.com. It's a personal assistant. You can get a personal assistant on Fancy, and they're like high quality apparently too. And they'll do, they can do up to like 5 things or something for you. I think it was what it was. And they're relatively cheap. Like it's reasonably priced. So that's one thing I'm going to also look into. Fiverr.com. If you guys are looking to make anything for your business cards, logo, pamphlets, fucking anything, even just like your picture on your Facebook, like your, whatever that picture is called, besides your profile pic, the long one. You can get them to make that really nice and professional for you as well. Fiverr.com, Fiverr.com. They do all that stuff for cheap too. Anything is it's Fiverr.com. It's for $5 and up. So you can get some really cheap stuff on there and get some sick logos made, any of that kind of stuff. What else? Yeah, your content, if you're just posting content on your page, it should be short, 10 to 90 seconds. Actionable, at least one thing they can do to get a result. Goal-oriented, have a clear outcome they desire and help them achieve it. Easy to consume, easy to understand and apply now. Another thing as well, when you guys are doing Facebook ads and you're doing subtitles, one thing you can try, because I know it's a pain in the ass, especially if you have a longer video, is because most people, I think the average time is like 6 seconds that people will actually watch your video. So you need to capture their attention within that 6 seconds. But if I haven't attempted this yet, but if you can just put subtitles on your video for the first 15 to 30 seconds, that's usually all you need. But at that point in time, if people are going to actually continue, they usually will actually click on the video and listen to volume. So it could be a time saver, but I think you're going to have to physically go in there and delete all of the auto-generated subtitles anyways after the 30-second mark. So it might be a pain in the ass anyway. But there's also, I will show you guys how to do this as well. I haven't had a chance to implement it since we went back. It's called getmoreproof.com, and it's a pop-up on your landing page, and it'll literally say how many people have opted into the webinar that day or whatever, and it'll come up a little pop-up. So then when people come into your landing page, they're like, oh shit, 10 people opted in for the webinar today. I'm definitely going to opt in, right? Like people are actually doing this. And it's just a piece of code that you can copy and paste and you enter it in the back office. So once I do that and it actually works, I can show you guys how to do that. Or I can just post it because Brandon Odom had sent it to us, so I can post it in the Limitless chat as well. See, this kind of goes back to that survey I said, if you're going to screen your calls or pre-screen people who you're going to actually phone call or speak with. This is some questions you'd ask them. What's your income goal and how far off are you currently? What do you think is holding you back from achieving that goal? What would help you achieve that goal? What are your strengths and weaknesses? You can get a pretty good idea from there if they're worth talking on the phone to or not. Let's see. What else? Yeah, that's pretty much it. That I haven't had, like I said, I haven't had a chance to test some of this stuff myself yet, so I don't want people to go start hammering down until I know that it actually works. But I'm sure some more, points that stood out to me will come to me here over the next couple of days or before next week. And once we kind of Debrief on the event in Balages. It's been a fucking crazy week straight. So once I chat with Aaron and stuff, we'll get some good stuff for you guys to try and apply right away. And they're also, I know, like we were with Cameron George and stuff as well, and a lot of the stuff they're already implementing and some more stuff they're going to implement directly into the GAS back office. So it's going to be, or into the landing pages and stuff, a lot of these things that we learned this weekend. So it's going to be just automatic for all you guys. It's like this thing popping up for social proof. Like I was talking about that pop-up that people are going to sign up. It's going to be into the code just automatically for you guys. But for the time being, we're going to put it ourselves. I just have to actually figure out how to do it myself. Spoke to the guy today that was talking to him a couple months ago, and he was trying to selling makeup through product. Trying to sell makeup. Will Fife was trying to sell makeup. I have no idea what you're talking about. Talking to him a couple months ago. No, that doesn't make any sense. I have no idea what that's about, man. Who fucking knows? Shouldn't be doing that if he's trying to do that kind of thing. Oh. Yeah, if he continues to do it, then I'll just talk to her. Let me know. I'll talk to him privately. He's a good dude. I don't want to get him fucked over. I'll warn him first because most other people will kick him out immediately with no chance. So I haven't heard. It's the first I heard of it. So I'm assuming that he smartened up or he realized that he was doing something stupid. Does you have any other questions for me? Okay. Yeah, I don't know, Jeff. I don't know what the fuck he's doing. Hopefully he's quit by now. In Whistler? We didn't do a whole lot of masterminding in Whistler per se, to be honest. We hung out at that mansion for a bit. We went whitewater rafting. Just went out for dinners, had some drinks. Did some mushrooms one night. So that was pretty hilarious. So yeah, we kind of had to wind down after the event. So the rafting was hilarious, man. It was fucking so funny, man. Just people flying out of the rafts and stuff like that. It was super funny, man. Hanging out. I don't know if you guys know who Dakota is. He does all the filming for AWOL. He's good friends with Cam. Fucking, he's funny, man. He was pretending he was Colombian the whole time. It was so funny. He actually had one of the guys who came with Mark to Balage's mastermind. He had him convinced he was Colombian for 3 days. I'm sure he'll post the video. He was interviewing him in a Colombian accent the last day we were there, and he finally broke it to him that he was from Edmonton, Alberta. Fuck, it was so funny, dude. Yeah, rafting was good. What happened with the rafting? Jesse fell out. He thought he was gonna die, literally. It was just a good time all around. Did some cliff jumping, parked the raft, did some cliff jumping in some freezing cold water. Tried to do a gainer, under rotated, kind of landed like on my fucking head almost. Yeah, that's good. It's better to talk about your ad, break down the biz exactly, or talk about the life. Try both, man. Try both. Try both angles. I've tried both, and got decent results from both. What people relate to is the emotion. So if you can be really enthusiastic about the business, then go for it. But most people really relate to people, and people can actually exude that emotion when they're talking about their story and their why, and touching on these pain points. By pain points, I mean talking about, like, for me personally, how I was gone in the oil field and I never saw, my girlfriend, and a lot of relationships suffered. I missed out on everything. I was sick of the politics and all that stuff, right? Pain points. People relate to that shit. And there should also be a pattern interrupt. And if you can do that within the first 6 seconds by pattern interrupt, I just mean something like, one of Aaron's videos, Aaron Fraser's, I don't know if you've seen it. It starts off, he's like in that little culvert thing. It's a pattern interrupt. It catches your eye, right? It's not like, don't start off with a fucking text that says like your name or something like that, or something lame like that. No one's gonna stop and watch that, or even sit there on video and be like, hey guys, this is Garrett Francis here. I want to take a minute to talk to you about that. That doesn't catch people's attention either. You need a pattern interrupt of some sort. I mean, whatever it can be. Some drone footage is good. Like some of the drone footage, I don't know if you got it from you, Dallas, but even John Travis's recent video, starts off with a bit of drone footage of the yacht party. It caught my eye, and I was there. So it's called a pattern interrupt. It's definitely very beneficial if they get them past that first 6 seconds, and then they're a lot more likely to watch to the end and actually take action or engage. But yeah, I would test both angles, man. For me, talking about the life-changing opportunity, I don't even talk about the opportunity that much. I talk about my situation, my experience before getting started, and what made me really decide that I needed to change. That's usually what I talk about. I don't know. Ever done OT before? I'm not sure what that is. Yeah, this is being recorded, as far as I know. Pretty sure. I don't tell them that in my video, but if people ask, I'll be like, yeah, there's a bit of a referral kickback. It's minor. It's 30% of the $99. If I've already told them about the $99, but it's only 30% of the $99 every month, so it's nothing major. I make my real money off product sales and product commissions. That's where you're going to make the real money, is off products commissions. So I'll tell them that. And if they ask, well, like, what do you make? I'll be like, yeah, man, if you make money, I make money. Okay. So that gives me all the more incentive to do what I can to make sure that you make money. That's just how it works. It's the same in any other business. It's going to be the same for you. If you get people involved and they make sales, you'll make money off of them. So you can get to the point where people in your downline, as we call it, are making all the sales for you, and you're just collecting the money. And that's where people want to get. So yeah, I mean, I'll tell them, be honest with them about that. In a sense, it gives them a little bit more. It calms their nerves a little bit, because they're like, okay, obviously this dude wants to make money. I mean, he's going to try and help me to make money and make sales, because if I make sales, he makes sales. My success is his success. Put that party on the cloud, bro. Oh, you did? You got all the footage? What cloud? Do we have like a file or something? I don't even know. Do you tell big bosses? A video has never worked for me. I really want to get one. How many videos did you shoot before you got one that worked? For me personally, like, it was basically my first video. Actually, I shot one video that sucked, and then I shot another video that also sucked, but the second one actually worked really well, so I got lucky. Then I went through some ones that didn't work either after that. And yeah, I'm going to start running some video ads again here soon. I just bought a sick new camera, so we're going to shoot some videos with that. And try the whole video ad thing again, see where we get. So for example, when I got my ad account shut down like a while back now, the first one I got shut down, not ever, but the first one I got shut down in like a year, which kind of started this streak of getting ads accounts shut down. But it was Alicia and I sitting in that pool in Cabo, and it was like, I think the first thing I said was like, did you know 7 out of 10 marriages end in divorce or something like that? That was the pattern interrupt. And then you can also create an open loop too sometimes. After that, I was like, yeah, I was headed down that direction as well, working in the oil field. I've seen so many people go through divorces, blah, blah, blah. But you can also create what's called an open loop. So you can be like, yeah, I mean, before I got started with this, I'll touch on it later on how exactly you can get started, or I can touch on later exactly what the benefits are or what I've experienced since getting started online. I'll touch on that later, but first I'm going to tell you a bit about my story. That's an open loop. So then they're like, okay, I kind of want to hear what he's experienced since starting. So I'm going to just get through this video and listen to his story now because I want to see the end. And then boom, I can see what he's experienced so far, or what the benefits have been, or how to get involved. How would you make transition from your story to $99 membership? $99 membership. Are you talking about on the phone? Like I wouldn't tell them about the $99 membership. Are you talking about telling them your story after they see your ad? All right, later, Dallas. If you're on the phone and you're kind of going through your story, like I said, a good thing to say is like, so what has you wanting to start an online business? What has you interested in starting an online business? Something along those lines. And once they tell you, you can say, okay, awesome. When would you like to get started? And then they'll say, well, as soon as possible. Then you can say, okay, it's $99 for the training per month. And that also gets you access to utilize the same system I use and everybody else uses in here. Not to mention, basically 24/7 support and mentorship from myself. That's how you can say it there. If that's not how the conversation goes, you can just say, once you're talking about their story, and you want to be more interested than interesting, or fucking interested and interesting. So you want to actually be asking them questions and be interested in their story more so than trying to sound as interesting as you can. So you'll be asking them questions, about, and trying to hit those pain points. Again, what has you interested in doing this? What caught your eye? What are you looking to get out of a business like this? How much money would you need to make extra to really make a difference? How much money per month would you need to make extra to really make a difference? Questions like that. Same questions I kind of said you'd ask in the survey, like, what are your income goals? What the fuck was it? What are your income goals, and like what stopped you from reaching those goals? And once they get into it and they're connected, they have that emotion. You can kind of say it, and then literally almost every time at some point they'll be like, okay, so like, what's the next step? How do I get started? Then you can say, well, it's $99 per month. That's going to get you all the training that you're going to need. It's also going to get you the system, which is going to you're going to be able to utilize the same system that I use, that everybody else in the community uses. And I'll mentor you directly, and basically you'll get 24/7 support. And that's it. That's the transition right there. And then you can even say, if they sound hesitant, or, sometimes they're like, fuck yeah, that's not bad. If they sound a little hesitant, be like, you can be like, we also have a 14-day money back guarantee. So, I mean, if you get plugged in, and, I'll add you on my personal Facebook if you haven't already. You can contact me there. And if there's anything you don't like about it, then, we can get your money back for you, no questions asked. And that usually calms their nerves if they're I mean, you don't even have to mention it sometimes, but yeah, that's one strategy, I guess. But yeah, it's 8:16 here. So I'm gonna pop off unless you guys have any more questions. Finally get back in somewhat of a routine after that fucking week. Kind of, I guess. It's gonna be like, got company coming now on Thursday. They say what they have to think about it. Say, what do you have to think about? Just call them out on it. What do you have to think about? It's $99, like, and it's refundable. The people that have the most success are the people that take action. It's all about the speed of implementation. I mean, if the difference between people who are successful and people who are unsuccessful is people who are successful actually take advantage of the same situations that the unsuccessful people had and didn't take advantage of. You know what I mean? So yeah, just be like, okay, well, what is it you have to think about? Like, I'm interested. Like, we can break this down. Hopefully I can solve any concerns you have. Like, what is it you have to think about? Just ask them. But yeah, I hope you guys got some value. Yeah, from that, and thanks for everybody that tuned in. It was awesome seeing lots of you guys at the event and meeting some of you guys for the first time. That was sick. Looking forward to seeing you guys at the next event for sure. And yeah, that's about it. I was gonna say something else. Oh, Pete, you can get Brianne started whenever you want. Sorry, but I forgot to get back to you on that. It's honestly no rush whatsoever, but if she wants to start building that business straight away, then might as well just get her under that second Yukon ASAP. Yeah. Anyways, guys, thanks for tuning in. I will post the replay in here as soon as it's downloaded. And you guys have a good night. See you next Monday. Later.